Yo, what it is, fam? Shalom. Welcome to Sabbath Gardens. It's been a couple of months since I did anything with Sabbath Gardens channel, so I thought I'd give you guys a quick update. Actually, just 2 days ago, I stumbled upon my own 3-month update from before and realized how different things look from before. So I thought, man, I really need to do another update, at the very least. So this is actually a 6-month update since I started this garden here in this house, and 3 months from the last one. So I'll just do a quick tour of the garden and take you through and show you what's what and what's not working and what did work and what I've learned so far. So let's go. So we're actually going to go ahead and start with the tomato tunnel, because that was my pride and joy at one point, and I was really happy with it. And so I'm going to show you what happened to my tomato tunnel. So this is it. It is technically going over the walkway and creating a tunnel, and it is way bigger than it was last time I did an update. And man, this thing, it's a super sweet cherry 100 variety tomato, and each plant has put out well over 100 tomatoes already during the spring. But now that we're sitting in July, the production has really slowed down on the tomato tunnel. But I'm waiting to see if it will pick back up again in the fall when it cools off just a little bit more. Since these are indeterminate plants, they should just keep growing and growing until the first frost, which for us is like never. For some reason, my third plant here is just like cursed or something. I actually planted it and then replanted it, and it just always grows up and just gets super sad and doesn't produce. But these other two, insane. Now let me show you my potato bins, or lack thereof. If you guys recall, I did 3 potato bins with organic russet potatoes. Hey, there's my hand shovel. I was looking for this the other day. And I used a method where you start with low dirt and you add dirt as the plant grows up and all of that. I carried it out all the way to its end, took care of it, watered it, and there were no potatoes. After well over 120 days, there were no potatoes in these buckets. So, epic fail. Turns out there's a determinate and indeterminate variety of potato. And although I researched probably 50 different websites and how-tos and videos on how to raise potatoes, somehow no one seemed to mention that little thing to me, that you have to have a very specific type of potato, which I didn't have. So, to try again later. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I did a little experiment where I grew okra in the concrete pavers. So these okra, believe it or not, are coming straight out of the concrete cracks here. And yes, I know I need to weed my pavers pretty badly, but although it seems like a little miracle, and one actually did grow okra, you can see it right here. These are like really old. These are like 5 months old, and they should be 3 times bigger. And you'll see my other okra over there, what they're supposed to look like, in a second here. All right, moving over to the good old herb garden slash cucumber garden slash banana area and all that. You guys should remember I had a row of flowers here, and guys, it just got so hot. It's been very nearly close to the 100-degree mark several times in the last couple months, and I think it just got too hot for some of these plants, and I'm hoping they'll come back when it cools off a little bit. But yeah, I mean, as you can see, my herbs have done great. We've already taken huge chunks off of these, dried them out, and used them in the kitchen. Got our onion chives and sage and rosemary and thyme, looking great. Basil, I actually had to transplant my basil to the side of the house. I'll show you that in a minute, because it's too hot over here for basil. And now I have 2 romaine tomato plants that are just doing wonderful, and they're indeterminate variety, so you don't need to prune them. You just stick them in a tomato cage, give them good soil and plenty of water, and watch them grow. But you guys might also remember my banana trees, and on the last update they were literally half of this size. I mean, they were like this big. And so they're really happy. The trick to happy bananas is lots of water. And actually, I just recently installed my drip irrigation system, which I'll have to, oh man, I would love to do a video explaining the simple way to hook this up, because it was a little more confusing than I thought it would be by just learning on the internet. Now my lemon tree has just done wonderful. It's really taken off. I fertilized it a couple months ago, and now you can see we have literally hundreds of lemons on this tree. I mean, it is just packed full of lemons. So looking forward to getting those. Thanks to the homeowner before me. It was planted a long time ago and it's producing for us. Here's our strawberry patch. It's been too hot to make strawberries, but they are starting to spread. You can see how this strawberry plant here is starting to spread out to there and there. They're starting to take off and spread, so I'm hoping by the fall this will really spread out here and give us a huge strawberry patch. Again, it's important to amend the soil when you first plant in Florida because everything's so sandy, but so far everything's done really, really well, except for those things that just really don't like the heat. And then moving over here, we have our papaya tree. Again, it's doubled in size in 3 months, guys. This papaya tree, when I put it in, I mean, it was like so small. This is 6 months later. You can see what it's done. It's almost as tall as our light pole back here. And see, I'm about 6'3". This thing's probably 6'5", 6'6" already, just in 6 months. So it just really took off. And since the last time I did a video, I planted a plumeria that I've been carrying around with me in a pot for years. Finally put it in the ground, and it finally came out of its dormancy and is starting to grow. So I'm real excited about the plumeria. Literally got this cutting from my mother-in-law. It makes huge, beautiful bouquets. So looking forward to seeing what that does. Last time we spoke, I had a whole different slew of stuff in this bed here. So that looks completely different. But before I get over to the beds, let me just quickly show you my other tomatoes. I had these stakes in the ground last time we did an update, and you can see that the tomatoes have all grown up. The stakes, again, these are indeterminate variety tomatoes, so those keep producing until the winter time. And this is actually called a sweetie tomato. It's a little bit bigger than the other ones I have on the other side of the house. But got a couple of those sweetie tomatoes. Then I have these yellow pear tomatoes, which are super cool. Look at the fruit on those guys. Just really cool. Tastes great too. You can see how really bright yellow they get. And 6 months. Actually, these are not even 6 months old. These are only 3 months old. All these tomato plants here, and you can see what they've already accomplished. And remember to go back and take a look at my other videos to get an idea of how to amend your soil and prepare it for planting to make sure you get success with your tomatoes as well. Gotta have good soil and lots of sun and a good watering system. Now you can water them by hand, of course, but I just mean a good schedule for watering. Look at this, guys. This has really just gotten out of control. This was just grass 3 months ago. Short grass too. But what you're actually seeing is not just an unkept yard, believe it or not. These are watermelons. Lots of watermelons. We actually planted 4 watermelon plants in here, and they literally spread across the entire yard, all the way out into the sidewalk, spilling over. Look, these are watermelon plants coming out here, spilling over past my flowers into my walkway here. Look at this. This watermelon plant is coming from somewhere way back there, not far from those stakes over there, and it's growing all the way out here and making beautiful watermelons all over my yard. And right now I think we have 10 of them that are hidden among the grass here. I'll show you a couple more. I built another bed over here since the last time as well, but the bed got taken over by watermelons as well. Look at that, beautiful. This is actually the Jubilee variety, which we wanted to get, of course, for obvious reasons. Jubilee, super cool. So we got 2 Jubilees growing in this box. And again, these are coming from the actual head of the plant. The roots of the plant are in here, back here. So literally these watermelons just took over my entire yard, but I think it'll be worth it in the long run. And while I'm over here, let me go ahead and just show you the side of the house bed here. Yes, I let some of this get away from me in the last couple of months. I've had so many different projects going on. It's been hard for me to stay on top of the garden, but I just cleaned up and got it all irrigated just in the last couple of weeks, for the most part. Just got a few areas to still finish up, and the areas that are planted are doing great. Now you guys remember I had broccoli in here. They all put out nice big heads of broccoli, and then I yanked them out because they were done. All my celery got too hot for celery, so I yanked those out. But the peppers are still growing. You can see I got some baby peppers hanging here, back in the back. And this is actually peppermint, purple basil, which I just transplanted from the other side of the yard where it was too hot into the shady area. We got bee balm and lemon balm, and this stuff smells so good. I wish you guys could smell it. You can make all kinds of awesome tinctures, teas, recipes, all kinds of cool stuff with these different balms. So yeah, quick side note, if you're gonna buy a gorilla cart, you're gonna want to go ahead and buy these wheels that are not inflatable but are full plastic like a big wheel, and they don't get flattened by lemon thorn needles. Yeah. I just got these in the mail today to replace my my other wheels. The front 2 wheels got popped by lemon needles. So if you get a gorilla cart, go ahead and spring for the extra tough wheels. They'll last you forever. And now we have our bitter oaky melon. I think you guys saw my last rain barrel. I added a second rain barrel a while back. I think you guys saw that already. Here's the bitter oaky melon. I took the tarp off of my greenhouse, and I used the frame to grow these Okinawan bitter melon. This is what it looks like right here. Look at the size of this thing. By the way, I'm a big guy. I have big hands. This is a huge melon here. I think we have a couple babies growing on here. And again, here's some little garden bugs, some stink bugs. They won't hurt the fruit. They've been hanging out there for a couple weeks, so they just like it here. But yeah, we ate some of this last night actually. Jackie fried some up, and we had it with some other sauces and noodles, and it was pretty good. It actually is bitter, that's for sure. Hey, here's Pickles. Hey Pickles, what's up, buddy? What's up? Pickles just made his grand entrance over the fence. And yeah, so these are pretty cool. They're rare. My buddy Josh's mom sent me seeds to try out, and they're really loving this Florida weather, and this turned out to be a wonderful trellis for them, so very thankful for those. Then my buddy Paul gave me this banana tree. I think you guys saw that when it was a lot smaller. And this banana tree, as well as the other ones back in that corner over there that I showed you earlier, are going to be starting to put out some fruit here in the next couple months. They're about ready. So really looking forward to that. That's a whole nother ball game, dealing with banana trees and pups and all that stuff. So when I learn, or when I actually go through the process of cutting the old stuff down and helping the pups out, then I'll try and document it. Over here we have our Grape Arbor, which one of my grape plants, I accidentally weed whack killed it on accident, which I'm actually thankful for, because there's no way 2 grapes will survive on this thing anyways. But I do have my purple muscadine that has grown up a lot in the last 3 months and is now coming all the way over top of the trellis, and by fall time this trellis should be completely covered and putting out a lot of grapes, so real excited about that. I noticed too on the update video from 3 months ago, I didn't have anything on the roof up here, and chickens really need shade, so I went ahead and took all kinds of palm branches and stuff like that, leaves, needles, sticks, and threw them on top, and now the chickens have shade 24 hours a day and they love it. And these 4 ladies are now producing a lot of eggs. I mean, a lot of eggs. I mean, more eggs than we could eat. What's up, Pickles? Now we're a family of 3 normally, just my wife and I and our daughter. If we had to survive on eggs alone, it would probably be rough. We'd be hungry. But if you're not surviving on eggs alone, you have way more eggs than you need, that's for sure. We have egg salads and boiled eggs and scrambled eggs and egg everything all the time. And we always have more eggs than we need. Right now we have at least an 18-pack in the house. So definitely recommend getting some chickens if you're allowed to in your area and you can afford to make a nice home for them. It's a great investment, and it's a lot of fun. The kids love it. I grew some huge sunflowers. These are actually Russian giants, and I took pictures to put them on Instagram. If you guys don't already follow me on Instagram, check me out over there, justin.sabbathgardens, to see more updates. But I took huge pictures of my huge sunflowers before we harvested them and got all the seeds out of them. And we got thousands of seeds from these sunflower plants. But additionally, they created a wall of shade for the chickens for the first half of the day. Because at my house, the sun comes up over here and goes straight over top, right over there. So they get lots of shade almost the whole day. And then after that, the stuff I piled on top gives them the rest. And actually just yesterday, I built this auto feeding system for my chickens, so we're gonna see how that goes. If you're wondering about this vine, this is actually a wild, it's actually a bitter melon also, a cormorant I think it's called. It's orange, the little orange thing, and these were already here when we moved in. And as you guys know, I just built this chicken coop 4 or 5 months ago, and this thing just started taking over, and I don't mind at all because the chickens snack on it, it gives them shade, and yeah, it gives them a little privacy too. So I'm welcoming the random vine. But yeah, I just basically took some PVC and I fill it with chicken feed, and it slides down the tube and comes all the way down to a little outlet. I have to go inside to show you the outlet here. The ladies want to say hi. What up? What up, chickens? Let's see if they give me any eggs since we're here. Let's see what's up. Yes, look at that. There is a new egg right there. These 2 are actually fakes. I can probably take them out now. You just put these fake eggs in there when the chickens are old enough to lay, to encourage them to lay in the right place. I just never removed them. But yeah, there's an egg right there. I'll come back for it later since I'm filming. And like I said, we probably get I don't know, 2 or 3 eggs a day. You're supposed to get, I think you're supposed to get 2 eggs every 3 days per chicken, something like that. And we're definitely getting a lot of eggs. One of them just pecked my leg. I think it was that one. All right, back to what I was talking about. I come over here, you see the PVC pipe flows down and comes down to the bottom, and I just cut the end of this tube off so the chickens can peck the feed right out of there, and it just trickles down as they need more. And I'm gonna see how long this auto feeder lasts, but it definitely keeps me from having to come in here and deal with this manual feeder, which is a huge pain. It gets dirt all up in it, and I don't like it. So definitely wanted to switch to something more viable long term. These are just random corrugated plastic boards I put on the outside to try and keep water off of the feed down here. But yeah, chickens is happy. Are you happy? No comment, huh? Whatever. All right. All right. Moving on to the corner here. There's my compost bins and Pickles. Pickles is everywhere. Pickles just does whatever he wants. He's got a good life. He's our garden kitty. Thus the name Pickles. But he's hanging out next to our 2 compost bins. This one's for chicken manure. This one's for garden waste. And this whole area right here is all one watermelon plant that I planted back in this corner. And I haven't found any big watermelons in here yet, but I mean, look at it, it's just one plant. So just in case you guys want to plant watermelons, be advised. Check this out. I got some of this. It's called red Malabar spinach. You see this stuff? It's really thick and it grows in a thick vine. It's like a tube. And it just grows and grows and grows. It's still a baby right now, but supposedly it will take over my fence. And I'm perfectly happy with that because these bad boys are edible. Every one of these leaves is. And it's an awesome source of leafy greens, spinach. Even in the heat, you can continue to get your spinach when it won't grow normally in a box. So, all right, left or right? Let's just finish this area and then I'll come back. All right, so here's our not oki, what am I talking about? This is our key lime tree. And look what this watermelon is doing. It's climbing the key lime tree. It's just, they have no concept of personal space. Look what it's doing. It's crawling all the way out here, this watermelon plant, all the way to the end of my okra. This is what okra is supposed to look like. And these are planted around the same time as the ones that I planted in the concrete. And as you can tell, these are a lot bigger. Now these also put out a ton of okra, huge horns. I mean, they're massive. And each one probably gave me like 20 of them. And I'm just gonna let them keep growing and see if they start making more, or what their life cycle is like, or if they're gonna go ahead and die on me now or what. But we're gonna find out. But they're doing great. We've got a lot of okra. Made a lot of cool stuff with it. On the last video, this peach tree was as tall as the fence. It got bigger. It got a lot bigger. Look at this thing. Hang on, I'm going to the other side. Look at this peach tree. It goes all the way up to there. Yeah, it's gotten huge. Doubled in size at least in the last 3 months. Still no peaches, but once again, this is the summer, man. I don't think a lot of fruit is going to get produced in the summer. But this fall, maybe, definitely next spring, it'll be peach time. Okay, now here are the 2 boxes that I built, and I made videos about how to build these boxes. And here's the corn that I had, if you guys can remember, tiny little baby corn before. It ain't baby no more. It ain't baby no mo. Check out these carrots. Look at that. Can you see that carrot in there? Yeah, you can see it. Got huge carrots in there. I mean, giant, like 10-inch carrots. Been making some stews with them. It's been wonderful. I need to go ahead and pull those out because they're pretty much going to flower now. I put another row of carrots in here. I need to do some weeding, I know. Don't hate. Some baby carrots. And if you guys recall, I planted these collard greens. I had one more in here actually, and I removed it because it's just too much. Too much collard greens. If you guys are planning on planting some collard greens and you live in an area where they can just grow and grow and grow without wintertime hurting their feelings, you don't need that many of them to feed your family. I mean, just with the collard greens and the kale and the eggs we have, I think our family could survive for quite some time. I mean, seriously, it just, the more I pull off of these things, these are kale by the way, the more they come back. And I feed them to the chickens every single morning. The chickens love the kale and the collard greens. So they're just still ticking. Look how big they got. They just got massive. Apparently they can get really big, and I didn't know that. So we'll see. And here's box number 2. Here's some yarrow. Has a lot of medicinal benefits. You can make all kinds of tinctures and stuff with it. I think it helps stop bleeding and stuff too. Some red romaine that died pretty much. It got too hot, killed by caterpillars and stuff, but I'm trying to bring it back to life. We're gonna see if that's even possible. But these were huge and beautiful, and now they're not so happy, so we'll see if I can recover them. We got 3 hot banana pepper plants, and these guys have put off a lot of awesome peppers for me already. Here's some 2 big boys back here, and they're so good. Hot banana peppers grow wonderfully in hot Florida, just so you know. And then 2 more romaine tomato plants on the ends of the bed here, and that's pretty much it. I had planted some beans in here along this row. They got too hot and they died. I don't blame them. All right, and if you haven't already noticed, this has gotten really overgrown and I need to weed back here really badly. This is my big bed here that I made. Just don't judge. But check this out. This actually is not a weed. This is called a purple coneflower, also known as echinacea. And this is only about a month old, and it's doing really well. Really happy out here. Again, you can see I'm running these drip lines to all my little plants. I got 2 blueberry bushes, one here and one over there, and they are not happy this summer. Not happy at all. They just really slowed down their growth in the last couple of months. So I think it's really just all about the heat. So we'll see once again in the fall time whether or not it's going to pick back up. And then a little aloe vera plant down here. Here's my papaya again. Just look at the size of it. Amazing. And that's pretty much it. Back here I had a whole row of okra. It produced really well for me, and then it died. So that's the end of the okra. Oh, I gotta show you one more thing. I forgot. My moringa tree. Look at this thing. This guy here. Moringa. If you don't already know about moringa, it's a superfood. I take it in powder form in smoothies pretty frequently. And I grew this from a seed actually about 6 months ago. And man, I'm so happy with the growth. It's super happy where it's at. It's gonna get about 15 feet tall. It's already managed to grow about 5 feet in 5 or 6 months. And then through here I just cast a bunch of wildflower seeds and put hay down on top of it and kept it moist for a couple of weeks, and all these giant wildflowers popped up. Look at me, look how tall this thing is. It's all the way up here. These wildflowers, it's taller than me. Wildflowers over my head. Who knew? So yeah, those have all come up, and I wanted to just have more flowers in the garden to attract more pollinators. It definitely worked. There's almost always something blooming, almost always some kind of flowers, and there's always butterflies out here in the garden every single day, and it's just a wonderful, beautiful, peaceful environment. I'm so thankful. All praise to the Most High for his provision, and like I said, I really would like to spend more time making videos in the garden and how-to stuff, and just as soon as I can make that happen, I will. But as you guys know, I have a lot of projects, personal projects, work projects, and then I have another channel, projects for that too. So I stay very, very, very busy, but I just had to drop in and give you guys an update about the garden before I forget. Yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions in the comments section. Let me know if you want me to make a video about anything specific that I have in my garden. If you need further explanation on something, yeah, let me know. And I'll talk to you guys as soon as I get a chance to start knocking out more videos for Sabbath Gardens. All praise to the Most High. Praise Yah. Talk to you guys later. Shalom.